Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 480. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, we've got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hi.
This week on the show, we'll be taking a look at Fool's Paradise, which is the directorial debut of Charlie Day. We'll also be going over some of what we've been watching on the watch list and new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us this week. If you could review us on iTunes, that'd be great. With that, let's go ahead and hop on into Fool's Paradise. As I mentioned, this is directed by Charlie Day. I have a synopsis here. A down-on-his-luck publicist discovers a recently released mental health patient who looks just like a misbehaving movie star. The publicist subs him into a film, creating a new star. But fame and fortune are not all they are cracked up to be. I like Charlie Day. I'll say that right off the rip. I like Charlie Day. I like everybody in this movie. I did not like this movie. I think this movie might be one of the worst things I've seen this year. I could barely watch it. I'll say that right out of the gate. Couldn't stand this movie. Couldn't stand it.
I'm going to come out the gate right beside you. We're side by side. We have our arms locked out of the gate because I feel exactly the same way.
I think this movie is an unmitigated disaster. It is not funny. I can maybe see what Charlie Day was kind of going for here. It almost seemed like he was trying to, give a nod to Chaplin films or something, where he plays this kind of, he's basically like the tramp character. He doesn't talk, and he is like very he has a lot of expression in his face, and that's how he, emotes, I guess. But the thing is, like, Charlie Day is not Charlie Chaplin. Like, they're just not the same. And I mean, maybe this could have worked. Like, maybe the concept could have worked if anything was happening in this movie that was interesting or entertaining, but it just wasn't. Like, nothing was funny. I think that Charlie Day's directing is left a lot to be desired. Like, this movie was just such a mess from a directing standpoint. It was not very clean at all. It was very unenjoyable to watch. And he tried to, incorporate some little flourishes here and there, but none of those really worked from a visual standpoint either. Felt like a very old movie to me. Like, it felt like it was something that would have been coming out in maybe the 90s or early aughts or something. Didn't feel like a modern film at all.
Yeah.
It was just not good, man. Like, it's just nothing about it.
No, it's not good. There's a couple of things. I listened to the It's Always Sunny podcast.
Great podcast.
And he kind of talked about this movie a couple of times on there. And I just remember him talking about, I guess, he shot it a while back and asking around for directors and stuff to try and get some help or, some advice or whatever. And one of them they gave him the advice of, just scrap it. Just scrap it. Just kill it. Move on with your life. And he was like, I can't do that. And watching it now, I'm like, yeah, I can see how someone could come to that conclusion and deliver that advice. Because it makes a lot more sense now. It starts off with a bold choice, okay? Because let's say we're talking about Charlie Day here, who is great. He's funny as hell. But one of the best things about Charlie Day is his line delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's his whole thing. So it's a bold choice to say, I'm gonna eliminate that, and I'm gonna play this like a Chaplin, Buster Keaton type character, like throwback, which is like, okay, let's see you do that. And the thing that it's just an absolute failure in my eyes is that, like, his facial expressions, like in terms of like acting, there's just not really anything here. He just makes like kind of the same face over and over again, and it's not funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think the script is very good either. I think that if you're going for like a Chaplin Keaton thing, you need to have more physical comedy in there to help make up for the lack of dialogue coming from the main character. And I think that maybe what he was trying to do is include all of the people that are in this character's orbit, Latte Pronto, like all of those people are supposed to be doing the heavy lifting when it comes to the comedy, but the thing is that like none of them really have a whole lot to work with either. Like a lot of them are just like kind of playing caricatures and come off as being more just annoying, like annoying cartoons than funny. Like Adrian Brody's character, you know, plays this like kind of stereotypical like pompous actor, like Hollywood actor type, and Ray Liotta is like the intense like producer. May he rest in peace. And it's just like none of them were funny at all. Like they're all just so over the top.
Yeah, but the worst part about this is that Charlie Day his character is kind of like the co-lead, because I feel like I see Ken Jeong a lot more in this movie.
Oh yeah,
than Charlie Day, and Ken is annoying as shit.
Yeah,
just absolutely annoying, and I couldn't stand it.
The whole
awful.
He plays this like agent or a PR person. He's a publicist, and he's like addicted to energy drinks. That's like his whole thing. So he's like amped up the entire time, just going at 100% the entire movie, and yeah, it wears out its welcome. It becomes grating very fast, almost immediately, I would say. I like Ken Jeong too, and this was just like it wasn't his fault. It was just the character, the way the character was written. It was just too much, man.
Yeah, that's way too much. And then on top of that, the worst part, I think, all of those aspects of it are awful, right? But then the worst part is that it's this kind of like a Hollywood satire type thing, and like that hasn't been done before.
And I know, it's just
it's just
we've actually
it's not biting. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Like this movie, I feel like has already been made at least once or twice before. There was that Drew Barrymore movie that came out not too long ago that was a very similar kind of plot, where it was like, oh, it's somebody who looks like this famous person, and let's have her like be this other person while the other one's in rehab or whatever. But so yeah, it doesn't feel original.
No.
And it's just a shame, because you do have a really great cast in here too. Like you have pretty much everybody from It's Always Sunny is in here, at least they at least have cameos and stuff. You have Kate Beckinsale as his wife, and she's like, her character is so ridiculous in this. Jason Bateman has a little role here. Edie Falco is the agent. But man, like none of them have anything interesting to do or say. So it's all just so dreadfully boring to me, because it wasn't entertaining. I felt like I've seen it before. It wasn't funny. I didn't laugh a single time. There was actually one slight laugh that I had, and it was the scene when he goes to the shaman, when he goes to see the shaman who was like set up in his yard, played by Jillian Bell. Like that line where after she's done, she goes, "Okay, that'll be $6,000." That made me laugh, but it was more like a chuckle. Also, Jillian Bell is like an objectively hilarious person, and I don't know, the Common. By the time the Common scene came up, I was so checked out of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted I wanted it to be over so bad. I was barely hanging on.
It's weird because, like, at a certain point, I think it's right before the Common section shows up. To me, I was just like, man, it's not good. It's not awful. It's just not that funny. It's not that entertaining. And it's not even that it's not funny. Like, it wasn't that I was sitting there and being like, oh, wow, all these jokes are just falling flat. I just never registered anything as a joke, if that makes sense. Like, nothing felt like a humorous attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Part, I'm just like, well, this is just, it is what it is. It's not great. It's not awful. It's whatever. The comment section shows up, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, it's starting to come off the rails a little bit. Seems like a weird turn that we're making. And then the John Malkovich thing shows up.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, this is just a fucking disaster now.
Yeah.
Like, this is just, I don't even know what the fuck we're doing anymore.
Yep. It just gets so messy and off the rails at that point. You're just like, okay, well.
Because I think up until then, I would have been fine just being like, hey, it's not good. It's not for me. But I also don't think it's terrible. It's just extremely forgettable. But then that, from Common on, like, the choices that were made just took it, oof.
Yep.
It got real bad real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I'm not ready to like completely count Charlie Day out as a director, but for his debut, I think this was a pretty rough debut. I got to say, like,
yeah,
I don't know if he'll continue directing. I hope he learned a lot from this one, and maybe his next one will be a little bit more mature. But man, this one I cannot recommend this one at all.
No, thanks. And not even from like a curiosity standpoint, to be honest.
It's pretty awful. Let's go ahead and give it a score. This is a 1 out of 10 for me, straight up.
Same here.
I hated it.
I almost would have preferred it to be unmemorable and forgettable. Like, that would have been the best outcome.
And it's just so stupid. Like, so much of the stuff is so dumb. Like how the Billy the Kid movie was in 3D for some reason, and then like the next movie that he was in, the Mosquito movie, look, it was just so stupid. Like, come on.
Yeah, no thanks.
Ugh. Yeah.
No thanks.
Just way too over the top, way too goofy. All right, let's try to forget about that one, move on, talk about some of what we've been watching. I think it's my turn this week. Got a couple things that I can mention here. I'll start off with To Catch a Killer. This is directed by Damien Zifron. This is a movie that I had no expectations for. It had a small release recently, and I feel like there was like really nothing about, nobody's talking about this movie. And the reason that I watched it is because I was just kind of in the mood for like a thriller, a procedural thriller. And this one is about, a police officer who gets recruited by an FBI agent to go after this serial killer. This prolific mass murderer. And it turns out it's really freaking good. Very surprising. It takes place in Baltimore. And you have Shailene Woodley and Ben Mendelsohn in here as the two leads. Shailene Woodley plays she's like a beat cop, but it turns out that she's like super smart, but she has some behavioral issues that prevented her from becoming an FBI agent. She was actually trying to become an FBI agent, and she couldn't pass the like psychological evaluation. And Ben Mendelsohn sees like the promise in her, so he kind of recruits her as like a consultant or a liaison between the police department and the FBI as they try to track down this this killer. And it is very well shot, like lots of really good camera work in here. The movie's, it's surprisingly stylistic in how it's shot, and the mystery aspect of it, like the sort of cat and mouse thing, is also very interesting. Where it goes, the killer is also very interesting. So I definitely recommend To Catch a Killer. It's got a super generic, like crappy looking poster. The title's crappy. So don't let that dissuade you, though. This is actually worth looking out for. The original title of this was Misanthrope, which is somehow even worse than To Catch a Killer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
By the guy that did Wild Tales.
Wild Tales, yep. Which I totally forgot about until
I just saw it now.
Yeah, same here.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's on VOD, so yeah, I'd say this is worth a look if you're looking for like, you know, kind of just a solid police procedural type of thriller. Yeah, this one's worth a look, and takes place in Baltimore, so instant bonus points for that.
Yeah. I went to the movie theater last weekend.
What?
Yeah, watch out. Went to the movie theater, and I saw You Hurt My Feelings, the new one from Nicole Holofcener with Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Mm-hmm.
And quickly became apparent why I don't really go to the movie theaters that often.
Oh.
Because there was one middle-aged dude that thought everything was fucking funny as hell.
Oh.
Which is fine. You can laugh. But he was the guy that also likes to point out while it was funny.
Oh, no.
So he's a talkative guy. Just real talkative.
Was he by himself or with someone?
He was with his wife.
Okay. It would have been weirder if he was by himself.
Yeah, it would have been. But either way, it was still, I enjoyed this movie. This is like, there's something about just like a good, like middle-aged, it's not even really a drama. It's not really a comedy. It's just kind of like a life movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just like life stuff happening that's like kind of funny, but not really. And it's just Julia Louis-Dreyfus plays a writer, and she's written a new book. Things aren't going that great. At every turn, her husband has told her that like all of her drafts are phenomenal, they're great, book's great, everything's going to be fine. And then she just happens to overhear him talking to someone else and saying like how the book's not good, he hates the book, and there's nothing he can do about it because he can't. He's got to keep the facade up because he's already said so many things. And of course, she's just absolutely destroyed by it. And then it just plays that across different relationships, whether it's her and her son, and her and her husband. Her husband is a therapist, and you know him and his clients, his patients. Just that the idea of lying to people, you know, little white lies, encouraging lies, so to speak. And it's just like that's the main theme, and it's just very low stakes. You know, it was an enjoyable day out at the movies, except for that guy.
Nice. It's You Hurt My Feelings. I'm interested in this one. I wanted to see this one, so.
And I mean, it's Julia. I mean, Julia's just like, I enjoy watching her.
Yeah, anything she's in, like.
Yeah.
I saw the American Gladiators documentary. This is a 30 for 30 2-part documentary. Oh, yeah. It's phenomenal. Like, I loved American Gladiators growing up. I watched American Gladiators every weekend as a kid. I couldn't. I love the assault. That was like my favorite game that they played. I thought that it looked like it would be so much fun to go through that.
Is that the one with the tennis balls?
Yeah.
That was my favorite too. I wanted to do that so bad.
Yeah. It was like a Nerf. Basically, it looked like a cool ass like Nerf battle. And of course, I love the Eliminator at the end. You know, the big obstacle course that they go through at the end. But anyway, this is a documentary, 2-part documentary directed by Ben Berman and Kirk C. Johnson. And it goes through, you know, the history of American Gladiators, how it started. It started in Erie, Pennsylvania, by the way.
Get out of here.
Yeah. It started as an ironworkers union thing. So there would be these big ironworkers union picnics in Erie. And at these picnics, they would have these games, and those games became very, very popular. And one of the guys who designed a bunch of the games, like, turned it into like an actual event in Erie, like a paid event that people could come spectate. And then another guy joined up with him and turned it into what we know of now as the TV show.
Incredible.
Yeah. So it's a really kind of fascinating story. The documentary gets into the history, but it also kind of profiles a bunch of the different gladiators and tells their story. They interview a bunch of the people who were contestants on the show. But it also is really interesting because it kind of turns into something a little bit different, where you find out that, like, one of the creators has the life rights to the other creator. So he's being prevented from being interviewed by the show or the documentary. And then, like, so there's this kind of like weird, shady stuff that starts to kind of bubble up. And then, like, you gradually find out more and more about, like, sort of hidden, like, these things that have been hidden and stuff. And, like, the one creator, he keeps trying to, like, sort of hijack the production of the documentary and, like, make all these suggestions, and he gets, like, his lawyers involved to try to have these, like, ultimatums and specific things put into the documentary. So, like, the documentary itself begins to, like, morph into something else, and it's really well made. I was really surprised. It's significantly more than just your standard sports documentary, like 30 for 30 thing. It's not like a straightforward info dump type of documentary, talking head documentary. It's significantly more than that. I would say if you grew up with American Gladiators, if you liked American Gladiators, check it out. Even if you didn't, you know, it's still an insanely compelling 2-part series, and I would definitely recommend it. It's on ESPN Plus. I saw it on Hulu. I think I have ESPN Plus with Hulu. I don't know if everybody has that, or I don't know. But this was the guy who directed the Amazing Jonathan documentary a few years ago, which was also really incredible. He was a Tim and Eric guy. He started with Tim and Eric. So there is, like, this kind of, yeah, it's you know, a little off kilter. It's definitely got more comedy in it than you might expect. So gotcha. Yeah, highly recommend it. American Gladiators documentary. Check it out on probably Hulu. Again, not sure how that all works these days.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. The only thing I can think of now with American Gladiators now is Serengeti's Kenny Dennis always rapping about.
Oh yeah,
later. Yeah, Nitro into the wall.
Yep. Nitro wasn't in this. They talked about Nitro. Malibu was one of the main subjects that they talked to.
How are you not talking about Nitro?
Well, there's a whole thing with that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there's a bunch of drama involving that and like why Nitro didn't want to be in.
Classic Nitro.
Yeah.
Classic Nitro. Hey, I watched a classic. Segue. Goonies. Richard Donner's Goonies. The Goonies. Sorry. The Goonies.
Yeah. The Goonies. Get it right. Get it right or pay the price.
Yes. I watched this because my wife has never seen it, and I'm starting to think that maybe I never saw it either. Or I guess it's been so long because it felt very new to me. At least certain parts of it, right? A lot of the parts of this movie, I mean, even if you haven't seen it, you have seen it. You know how that goes?
Oh yeah, big time. Like it's definitely one of those movies that we grew up with that, was on TV a million times, but yeah, it's probably one of those movies that if I were to watch it now, there would probably be parts of it that I'd be like, wait, did I actually see this movie?
Yeah, that's kind of how it was for me. Because I'm like, oh, I remember this part of it, but I don't remember this part. But it was fairly enjoyable to watch this front to back for maybe perhaps the first time ever in my life. And it's just, it's perfect. It's what you want from a kid adventures movie. Like, it's perfect. It's pretty much, I don't, there's nothing to say about it. It was surprising. I mean, I guess not surprising, it being 85. But man, just like, fucking hell, Chunk. God, they are so fucking mean to that kid.
Yeah.
Fucking sucks. That poor kid. That was the only thing that I was just like, wow, this movie is really mean to Chunk.
It is. Yeah, they're kind of bullies. They were just bullies.
They were.
A little bit on the heavier side,
Yeah. And it's just like, oh man, Chunk. I just wish he had better friends,
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, if you haven't seen Goonies, you gotta see it. For maybe one or two of you listening who haven't seen Goonies, check it out. I saw Shopping. This is the last one I'll mention. Shopping by Paul W.S. Anderson.
The update, because I just listened to the Saved by the 90s, and you're like, oh, I'm going to watch Shopping.
I did, yeah. That's what it is born from. It is born from us talking about Paul W.S. Anderson on the 90s podcast, and one of the few Paul W.S. Anderson movies that I have not seen is Shopping, which was his debut. This came out in 1994, and it kind of has all the hallmarks of a 90s directorial debut. It was the ambition of it was way beyond its budget, clearly, and it features this great kind of EDM soundtrack. In fact, that Orbital song that's in Hackers and Mortal Kombat plays. Yeah, it plays no fewer than 4 times in this movie, so that's great.
Incredible.
Yep. There is an EDM version of Smells Like Teen Spirit that happens in this movie, and it's during a classic 90s industrial club scene that involves no lights, dark catwalks, lots of metal catwalks, and chains, hanging chains from the ceiling everywhere. So
always chains.
Yeah. Amazing 90s club scene. You have people in this who look like they're about 12 years old, including Jude Law. He looks so young in this movie. Him along with Sean Bean, Jonathan Pryce, Jason Isaacs is in here, who also looks incredibly young. Jason Isaacs plays this black market trader kid with a backwards hat on and stuff. And it's just so weird to see Jason Isaacs is a teenager, basically. Same with Sean Pertwee. Looks super young in this, but anyway, this movie is about it takes place in this kind of nondescript city that is overrun with crime, and the kids, the youth, they're kind of just taking over the streets, and you have these gangs of kids who what they do is they they crash cars into storefronts and then steal everything they can before the cops come. And that's like their whole shtick. And Jude Law plays this guy who just gets out of prison and goes back to doing his old tricks with smashing through storefronts and stealing stuff. So it takes place in this kind of weird, fictional, almost dystopian world. It's not like the future or anything like that, but it does feel like not our own world necessarily. But it's awesome. I had a blast with this movie. The soundtrack, it just oozes that kind of indie 90s feel, and had an absolute blast with it. I think that, I mean, after seeing this, I can kind of see like why Paul W.S. Anderson's career kind of took off. I don't know if this is like my favorite movie of his. I think it's probably his best movie just because it looks great. Like the camera work and the cinematography is great. The like set design and stuff is really good. And it just doesn't feel as glossy as his later movies would become. But yeah, just an interesting career of this guy. But I definitely recommend Shopping.
Check that out. I have one that I can recommend. Also classic. Also, never saw it. The Evil Dead, 1981. Sam Raimi. You ever heard of this?
I think I have. Yeah, I think I've heard of this one.
Bruce Campbell.
Oh yeah.
Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Campbell. Yep. Plays a guy named Ashley.
That's the guy from Burn Notice, right?
Was he in Burn Notice?
Yeah, he was like the best friend, right, from Burn Notice.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I never watched Burn Notice. God, I hated that show. Never watched it, but I hated it.
I hated it.
I don't know why.
Well, I hated it too. That was the joke. I guess it didn't land.
But no, he threw me because I didn't know if Bruce Campbell was actually in Burn Notice.
Pretty sure
I know.
it was.
Thanks I always learn things from you.
I should have said The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. That's what I should have said.
Of course. Of course.
That would have been a deeper cut.
I forgot all about that fucking show. Sweet Jesus. Well, this is Bruce Campbell in The Evil Dead, 1981. And I was quite surprised by this. Like, I knew going into it that it was probably going to be fairly entertaining because it's such a like classic, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like all of those people can't be wrong. Like, there has to be something here, right? But I was surprised by the filmmaking. Like, the camera work and everything was just phenomenal. I just loved just like the look of it, the camera work, everything. And of course the effects. The effects are disgusting. Just absolutely disgusting. And it just kept getting more and more disgusting, which was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. I love that the story is just really not a whole lot. It's just like, hey, we woke up something, shit, deal with it.
Yep.
And that's it. And it's great. I just had absolute blast with this fucking thing.
I don't know if there's like any kind of like making of documentaries on this or anything. I remember, so Bruce Campbell's autobiography, he talks at length about the making of this movie, and it's a really fascinating movie to learn about how it was made, just because they had no budget. There was like no budget on this movie. It was literally just a bunch of friends who had this idea for a movie and decided to just go for it. And it's so crazy to see like what they were able to do with the limitations that they had. And like, I mean, when you see it, like the camera work and stuff is crazy. And like the like inventions that they had to come up with to get those like specific camera shots, like the evil that's like the first person view that they do and stuff. Just really, really fascinating. Now you got to see Evil Dead 2.
Oh yeah. No, I'm going to try and hold out though and try and watch these more towards when we get to Halloween season.
Have you seen Army of Darkness?
Uh, I feel like I watched that with you.
Because
I
that
truly
one,
feel
yeah,
like
that one, I feel like, yeah.
I had to at some point. I mean, you were so obsessed with these movies.
That
You know
was.
what I mean? Like I had to see something at some point.
Yeah, yeah, I kind of was really. I saw Army of Darkness when I was really young, and I was so in love with that
I just
movie. I think it was so
and I
incredible.
remember, was it? Did you have what was the one that came like in the Book of the Dead? Like, didn't you
That
have like a
both,
DVD?
yeah, both Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 had these like Book of the Dead editions
Yeah,
that came in these like kind of rubbery books. I still have them, by the way.
nice.
I thought by now that the rubber would have like hardened and got all gross, but so far they're like still in decent shape. And the one when you press it, it screams. There's like a little speaker in it, and you press the eye and it screams.
Yes, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
it.
I love the whole Evil Dead series. Really, Evil Dead 2. I'll just be interested to hear what you think of Evil Dead 2 because it's essentially a remake of the first one, and I'll just be
Okay,
curious to hear because like I like the second one more, but I'm wondering like what you'll think about it.
interesting. I look forward to it.
Yeah. Anything else you got?
One which is just real quick. It's called Next Exit. It's on Hulu. It's directed by Molly Elfman. If that name kind of rings a bell, that's because it's Danny Elfman's daughter.
Mm.
This movie is bad. It's so bad. I hate it. I hated this movie. It's not like aggressively bad or anything that like it's not a mess or anything. It's just so incredibly dull.
Mm.
And I'm just like I'm losing my patience with movies that are dull.
I
Like
find
just
that too, actually.
like they just irritate the shit out of me. Like they make me angry. It feels like more of a waste of my time when they're dull. Like when it's a bad movie, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't waste my time as much as a dull movie does.
Yeah,
And it's
I
just,
agree. I have that same feeling.
it's about uh they learn that ghosts are real. Like they have evidence that ghosts are real, and so there's this like scientific experiment type thing going on where these people are traveling to like commit suicide so they can go to the afterlife, right? And but what it turns out to be is two people trying to get there. So it's like plane, trains, and automobiles to their suicides, right? And they don't like each other. They don't get along. And then it just turns into this like really ridiculously sappy, just absolutely boring rom com.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's oh boy, it was rough.
it sounds awful.
Yes, it is.
All right, well that's Next Exit. Avoid that.
Fuck it. Don't watch it.
Let's take a look at what we have in theaters this week. The big one is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
There's new
So
Transformers?
yeah, it's like remember the Beast Wars Transformers series? It was like that really bad CG one.
Nope.
Oh, they're turning that into like the next live action movie. Looks like this one's set in the 1990s.
Whoa. There's like a Transformer that's like a giant cheetah.
Yeah, like the whole shtick with these is they're all like animals.
What?
Mm-hmm.
They're not cars anymore?
Not the Beast Wars ones. They're all based on animals. They
Wow.
obviously started to run out of ideas at the toy factory, and you know, we're like, hey, let's take the whole idea of Transformers and they're robots in disguise. You can't really disguise the robot when it's like a giant gorilla. It doesn't look
Yeah.
like a real gorilla. It looks like a robot gorilla. Like, what's the point of transforming? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because this cheetah's like twice the size of a car. I mean, like you take one look at it and you're like, well, that's not a cheetah.
Yeah.
Robot.
The whole Beast Wars thing is ridiculous, and clearly they were just struggling to come up with new ideas to sell more Transformers. But I don't know. Maybe the movie will be good. Who knows? Maybe it'll be awesome. I haven't seen, I don't know, any of I don't know how many Transformers there are at this point. I fell off after, I think, the second or third one. I didn't like the second one at all, but I saw the third one just to see if maybe the series could keep me, and I absolutely hated the third one.
Mm.
And I don't know how many there have been since then. I think there have been like 2 more since then.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm not interested in this at all. So I'll see what happens. Maybe if people like it, maybe I'll check it out on VOD. Otherwise, I'll skip this one along with the other ones. We also have Strays coming out in theaters. This is like Look Who's Talking Now, or one of those movies where it's like, talking animals that can talk. And
yeah.
but the whole thing here is that it's dirty.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's R-rated.
It's by the guy who did Barb and Star.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Follow up.
Will Ferrell,
Yeah.
Will Forte, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. I mean, who hasn't been sitting around been going, you know what I need a movie of? A Boston Terrier with a dirty mind.
Yeah.
That swears, probably. I bet you that Boston Terrier swears.
Yeah, he probably drops the F-bomb all over the place, man. That dog's probably crazy.
I really wish dogs could swear more. That'd be cool.
You know what? I'll probably see this not in the theater, but I'll probably check it out on VOD. Might be worth a few laughs. Who the hell knows, right? Who knows?
I have an idea.
On VOD this week, starting with June 6th, we have Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, the Robert Englund story. I guess that's a documentary about Robert Englund.
Mm-hmm.
We got film The Living Record of Our Memory. Documentary explores film through the voices of significant professionals who have contributed to make sure moving images survive and remain accessible. Okay. Good cause there. On June 9th, we have Heroes of the Golden Masks, or just Mask. On the title here, it says Masks with an S, but I'm looking on the poster and it just says like Mask singular.
Mm.
Just one. So I guess this is an animated movie.
Okay.
We got Unidentified Objects. We got 97 Minutes. We got Devil Row. We have The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster. We got Dollyland. I guess that's about Salvador Dali. It looks like Ben Kingsley's playing Salvador Dali.
Mary Herron directed.
Interesting.
What?
Haven't seen her
I haven't
in a
heard that
while.
name in a long time.
Yeah, it is interesting. On Netflix, we have You Do You. That's coming out on the 9th. It's about all I see here for VOD. Blu-ray. This week we got the Indiana Jones movies are getting re-released in 4K. I don't know if they were already on 4K, but I'm sure that this is because of the new one that's coming out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to maybe watch that finally.
What, Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
You've never
Should I
seen?
check that?
Wait,
No. Should I check that out?
you've never seen any of the Indiana Jones movies?
Nope.
What? Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes, you have to see Indiana Jones. The original trilogy, the first 3. They're all incredible.
Don't start with the Shia LaBeouf one.
No. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? No. That one is definitely not worth looking at. Oh my god, that's crazy. Yes, please. I really want to hear your thoughts on the Indiana Jones movies. I'm going to be rewatching them also like in preparation for the new one, just because it's been a while since I've seen them.
Okay.
Redfield's coming out on Blu-ray. I'd skip that one. Private Parts from 1972. That's not the Howard Stern one, but it looks like a horror movie, which I'm actually kind of interested in. I'm going to check this out. The Mummy Trilogy. Giallo Essentials box set coming out on Arrow. Let's see what this includes. This is the Blue Edition. The Forbidden Photos of a Lady Above Suspicion, Death Walks on High Heels, and Death Walks at Midnight. So it's 3 movies. Great looking box set. I believe so. These are all movies that were previously released.
They just put them in one box.
Yeah, they're just putting them in one box because I think I actually own all 3 of these individually. So
it's not make it a little more portable, more mobile. Take it to your buddy's house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got The Strangler from 1964. Warriors 2 from 1978. That's going to be on Arrow. Warriors 2. Quite the cover there. It's a Sammo Hung. All right. Yeah. That looks interesting. Chucky 7 movie collection.
Wow. That's a little less portable.
Yeah, that's it's got like that's interesting because I believe there was another box set that came out for Child's Play back in the day, and I remember buying it, and it didn't come with the first Child's Play because I think that they were like different studios or something, but I guess that got worked out or something because this has Child's Play 1, 2, 3, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Curse of Chucky, and Cult of Chucky. So all of the like mainline Child's Play movies, not the reboot that came out a couple years ago, which is good that they didn't include that. It was not good. That's pretty much it. What about Criterion's?
We have one that's been in the Criterion Collection for a long time, and that's Rules of the Game from 1939. Getting that 4K upgrade, UHD 4K. And it's just a laundry list of special features. My goodness. It just keeps going. You just keep scrolling that web page. There's another bullet point. We're up one right after the other. Seems like you're definitely getting your money's worth with Rules of the Game.
Nice. Check it out. Rules of the Game. Do it. All right. That's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. And if you have a moment, consider reviewing us on iTunes. That'd be great. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.